You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Home Field Apparel.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Derek, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Pay that man his money.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
God, I love that intro. Just every time. Gets me going. Every single time. James, we are back. It's week 4 of Crimson Cash. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. We had some nice winners last Friday for Friday night Big Ten football. So that was good. But the whole week we went 5-6, so a little under 500, but we're still 22-17 on the year. So
well, now we're done with all those stupid big line games. We're
no, not quite yet. We still got some big lines coming up this week.
All right. Well, we're getting really close.
We're getting close.
So
we have some big conference lines this week. So
we'll get
that'll
to
be
that.
interesting.
We'll get to that. First off, you're talking about Friday night. This Friday, it's Illinois game week. If you want to celebrate, check out the Can't Miss Kickoff Tour with Home Field Apparel. Liv West is going to be in town, so check her out. They're doing all kinds of stuff all weekend. Upstairs Pub on Friday, September 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. Free giveaways for fans wearing the Bison Mafia and Home Field IU apparel. They're also going to debut their highly anticipated Modelo line. That sounds cool. And then Galen will be doing a CrimsonCASH live podcast across the street from Home Field at Tracks from 4 to 5 p.m. on Friday. So go check that out. And if you're buying online, use promo code HOME23 and get 15% off your first purchase. There you go.
Liv West sounds like a 1980s catalog that sold like Santa Fe style furniture and decorations.
or it's like one of the teams in Live Golf.
Yeah.
James, you going to the game this weekend?
I am not going to the game this weekend. So
James, what's up?
Well, it's tough to get from Fort Wayne down to Bloomington, and night game. I'm gonna do this one at home.
Take 69, just go south. Just keep going. It goes all the way now.
Yeah, I mean, that is how I get there.
Yeah, it's the 3.5 hours of doing it that I guess kind of stinks. All right,
I looked at tickets. This was the one game I really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out. And then by the time I was about to, I was like, you know what? You got to get down there. It was sold out, and I'm not paying a premium for tickets. I'm going to be quite honest. If I'm watching the game, I'd rather watch it at home than being at the game. So I get more from the actual game experience, football wise from home. I like all the peripherals of going to the game. So
fair enough. I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. But
it's going to be great.
Let's get to some bets so that everyone can be up money wise when they go to the game on Saturday night. So first off, let's get rid of this, get rid of that. All right. First off, we have Oregon State at Oregon. Oregon, you are right, my friend. Not a Big Ten game, but a big line. Oregon is a 35.5 point favorite.
This one, I hate the big line here, and Oregon didn't cover our big line last week, but Oregon State's defense is absolutely dreadful. And I think that Oregon's going to put up 49 points without even really trying. So how much are they going to give up? That defense of theirs also looked really good against Northwestern. Will they give up a garbage touchdown to allow the backdoor cover just like they did last week? I'm saying no. I hate to take this many points and give them on a rivalry game, but I'm going to do it.
Next up, we have Purdue. Oh my gosh, I forgot about sounds. I wasn't even prepared. We got sounds. Forgot about Purdue. And Purdue is going to South Bend. I mean, Notre Dame wins this. They're going to be 1-2. Do they move up in the rankings? Like, are they just forever going to be ranked? Them being ranked at 0-2 is insane. Someone had on their AP ballot, I think they were 10th. They had Notre Dame 10th at 0-2. It's nuts. I mean, Notre Dame might be one of the best 25 teams in the country, but not right now. They haven't won a game. Anyway, rant over. Notre Dame is a 24.5 point favorite at home.
That's why I hate playing the pool game.
Yeah.
Because people just don't pay attention to it. I mean, if you look, they show you like everybody and where they put each team, and it is amazing how stupid some of these ballots are.
Yeah.
So, but Notre Dame, okay, this thing's gonna go one of two ways. Notre Dame's either gonna be really angry and put the whooping on Purdue like they did last year, which I think certainly is possible, but I don't think Purdue's as bad as they were last year. And this is just too many points for a team that hasn't won a game yet to be laying. So I'm going to take the Boilers. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Next up, we have Washington going to Washington State. This is the weekend of former Pac-12, in-state rivalries. Washington State is a 19.5-point underdog at home.
Okay, I hate this bet. I'm going to stay away from this game. But here's why. Here's why I would take Wazoo plus the points, because it's a rivalry game. But I think they just lost 49-10 last week to North Texas. So, and I think Washington beat UC Davis Aggies or something like 70 to something. So it's highly possible that Washington covers, but it's a rivalry game. I'll take the home team to cover.
All right, next up, we have Michigan State. They are going, you know where they're going, James?
They're going to... There we go.
They're going to California, going to play USC. Michigan State is an 18.5-point underdog against the Trojans.
2 3-0 teams here. So it's kind of interesting to see this big of a line, especially with how USC... I mean, they beat Purdue, but they didn't look utterly dominant against Purdue. And I think you can move the ball on their defense a little bit, and that offense didn't look quite as potent against a lower echelon Big Ten defense. So go ahead and give me the Spartans to cover that big spread there.
I know you said Washington.
Late night game too. This is an 8 o'clock local kick, so this is gonna be 11 o'clock Eastern time kick.
Wow.
But that doesn't worry me for a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
For me, I'd be in bed. If I was a Michigan State fan, I'd be so pissed. I'm like, how am I going to stay up for this thing?
That's a late game. It's wild, man. 3 of your first 4 games. I know you said Washington State was a stay away, but you have a combined 62.5 points that you're having to cover across those 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, they're huge lines, and you got one conference game in there.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the rest of the Big Ten. It's a slot, dude. It gets short real quick. A smaller slate. Yep. Big Ten teams are playing each other. All right, next up we have Michigan going to Nebraska. Nebraska is a 2.5-point underdog at home.
Yeah, and if you're watching the screen here, you'll see in the little right corner there it says Nebraska plus 173. That's because I've already placed a money line bet on Nebraska at plus 173. So if that gives you any idea of where I'm headed with this, I will take Nebraska to cover. I actually like them on the money line here. Okay. Same reasoning I gave for the Michigan-Oklahoma game here. We got a freshman quarterback heading into a hostile environment, and this is going to be every bit as loud as Oklahoma was. Now, Dylan Raiola also sucks in big games.
I was going to say, you're putting a lot of hope in Raiola.
Well, this is mostly, I think this is going to be a good game. I think Nebraska wins. Give me home field here.
Okay. We're going to skip the 7:30 game that we're all looking forward to. Just do that one last. Next up, we have Iowa going out to New Jersey to play Rutgers. Rutgers is a 2.5-point underdog at home.
On the season preview show this year, I went big and predicted Rutgers to win this game. And I'm going to stick with Rutgers here, and they're getting 2.5 points. Iowa has not looked dominant against Iowa State. They really couldn't move the ball. Rutgers did give up some yards to Norfolk State, but they ended up covering a huge spread on that game. So go ahead and give me Rutgers.
All right, last up, before we get to the IU game, we have Maryland.
Crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does.
Well, Maryland also goes to Wisconsin as a 10-point underdog. So they do crab cakes, football, and being a 10-point underdog at Wisconsin.
Yes, and Wisconsin, I don't know why they're a 10-point favorite in this game. This line seems a little high to me. So go ahead and give me the Terps to cover double digits against a team that hasn't really looked that great.
All right, last up, the game of the weekend. We have the Illinois Fighting Illini coming in ranked 9th in the country, playing the 19th ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana is a 5.5-point underdog in this game. Talk about it, and then let's talk about the line a little bit.
Well, I use a 5.5-point favorite in this game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I messed it up. Yeah. 5.5-point favorite. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got an over/under of 52.5 here. I'm going to be very curious with that over/under where this game ends up being. I like IU's chances in this primarily because I think they've got equally, if not better, coaching. They've got the better quarterback. They've got the better running backs. They've got the better wide receivers. They got the better offensive line. And they got the better defensive line and secondary. I think they've got the position edge at every position group, except for maybe tight end, because I don't know anything about Illinois' tight ends.
Right.
And IU doesn't really utilize theirs a lot outside of blocking. I think IU's just really got a real edge in this game in pretty much every category. I think they actually have potential to just blow the doors off of Illinois here. That Illinois Duke game was 14-13 at the half. And if it weren't for a cavalcade of horrible events for Duke in the fourth quarter, it was that Duke actually kind of hung in there. If IU's able to run the ball against Illinois, it's going to be a long night. Hoosiers could win this thing by 2 touchdowns. So that's the IU side of it and why you want to take the Hoosiers to cover this.
And one thing that we're going to talk about is, so yeah, I'm with you. I like Indiana to cover that 5.5. If you've been looking at this, let's pull this up right here. If you look at the point spread over the last, this is all time. The game opened at a 4.5. IU being a 4-point favorite, went to 3.5. God, I wish I would have grabbed it at that point. And now it's jumped down to 5.5. Talk to us about what you glean from that.
I try not to play the guess where the line's going to move game. But what I see from this is, some early money came in on Illinois. And I think at that point, that number got real tasty and a bunch of people started jumping in, and it just has kept going on the Hoosiers. I think as people start to do the research on this game, they really understand what's going on. IU should cover this without a problem. If you look at it, from a statistical analysis. So I think that's what's happening there. I don't expect it to get too much worse if you're an IU bettor. So
we're also
definitely want to keep it under 6.
The money line percentage, it started at negative 190, went all the way to like negative 160, and then now it's negative 210 on the money line.
Yeah, so I mean, the money line, you could have snagged that up too at some point in time, but you'll see there the bet percent, 91% of the bets are coming in on IU on the money line at this point. I imagine that's a pretty popular money line, bet to toss in your parlays, as we love to do here. Right. So I imagine that's pretty popular to do. But I also imagine Illinois on the upset's a pretty popular bet as well, because those are fairly decent odds.
So before we move on here, and we get to the Hoosier hot streak and Keegan's slice of the pie, you and I had a side bet on Indiana's ranking coming into this game. You thought there was no way we would increase. I called that it would be IU 19th in the AP, 17th in the coaches, and IU is 19th in the AP and 17th in the coaches.
Excellent. Did you place that bet that we figured the 3 money lines that had to happen?
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, okay.
I did not. It would have been a Georgia money line. I would have lost it because I had Notre Dame.
Okay.
I had Notre Dame winning, so I would have lost that bet. But you and I bet $5. So next time I see you, you owe me $5.
Sounds good.
Because you were saying there's no way we were going to jump that, and we did.
We'll watch back the tape on that because I'm pretty sure you tried to weasel out of it. So,
no. Here's the question: we beat Illinois. Where do you think we move to? I've wondered, do we just take their spot?
No,
probably not.
It depends how we beat them.
So
at that point, it would be how we beat them.
Let's go to the AP, just because there's too many different. In the AP, here are the teams ahead of us: Georgia Tech 3-0. Texas Tech 3-0, Utah 3-0, Tennessee 2-1, Bama 2-1, Ole Miss 3-0, Iowa State 4-0, Oklahoma 3-0, A&M 3-0, and then Illinois is 3-0. I think, what teams do you think we jump if we beat Illinois?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I'm not going to get into the head of crazy people. I try not to do that. So.
I mean, there's a world too. It's like the polling has been so bad as a world where Illinois stays ahead of us.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to stay away from those guesses.
I think we could move our way up to like 14th. I think that we would jump Tennessee and Alabama. I think that we would probably jump Tech and Georgia Tech and Texas Tech and Utah, and then probably slide right in behind Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Ole Miss.
Don't know.
All right.
Not a clue.
All right. Well, before we get to the hot streak and the slice of the pie, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with slice of the pie and hot streak. If you're not listening to Sideline Stories with Trisha Whitaker and Sydney Parrish, you're missing great stories like this.
When you interviewed Signetti, did you know that he was the type of character that he is and so outspoken and just like what we call a soundbite machine?
No, not really, but I did realize in the first phone conversation how he was just so authentic. Literally at the end of the conversation, I'll never forget it. And I thought about Coach Knight a little bit because I'd heard that people asked Coach Knight when he took the Indiana job and they'd say, "Why did you go to Indiana?" And he said, "Because I could win there." So I'm on the phone with Coach Sig, and at the end, I said, "Do you think you could win here?" And he said, "Scott, let me just tell you this. If I have average resources, I will win. Trust me." I remember thinking, I believe it. I really did. And I remember hanging up, and I called President Witten. I said, "Hey, I just finished up with Coach Signetti," and I said, "Hey, I think he's different."
Sideline Stories is part of the Back Home Network. Subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. All right, we are back, and it's time for the Hoosier Hot Streak.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Hoosier Hot Streak was not successful last week. Had nothing to do with Indiana. Indiana did their part, as they always do. Minnesota money line didn't hit, and the Oregon covering the 27.5 didn't hit. So we're back to square one. We got to pick a positive bet on Indiana, either money line or covering, and then you got to stack one more bet to it, James. So what do you got?
Let's go with the Hoosiers to cover the spread. Pretty easy there. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to take Notre Dame to win. I'll put us right over 100.
I like that. I mean, they haven't done it yet this year, so it's kind of like you should probably get plus odds for that because like Notre Dame winning hasn't happened yet this season.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I like this. You're keeping it easy, and let's build a hot streak back up.
That's what we're trying to do.
All right. Next up, last week, Keegan's slice of the pie. We're going to get to see the sad face. Hold on, got to pull it up here. Sorry, Keegan, didn't win. Wah wah. I need a wah sign. It was Georgia covering a 3.5 point spread. The hook got Keegan, man. Hook got him. Georgia won by 3.5. So Keegan got no pizza money. Sorry. And you said you have a story about it, right?
I did give him a lesson on how the hook works, and he did not like it at all. So I was watching the Colts game, and I had some money on the Colts to win against the Broncos, and the odds just got like crazy. And I'm like, you know what? Let's toss a few more bucks on here and maybe give Keegan a second chance on his pizza. So we did that, and the exchange of text messages between us in that final sequence of the missed field goal and then the penalty and then the field goal being good and him getting pizza, he was pretty stoked on it. So we did give him a second chance because that's a bad beat, losing by the hook like that.
It sucks, but dude, he's a grown man now. He's
that's
in college.
Gambling. He wasn't pissed about it. He didn't complain. He's like, it sucks. And I'm like, yeah, it totally sucks, or whatever. But like, so I was like, you know what? He handled that like a true gambler. So,
well, it's also good for his caloric intake. Like you have a week off of the cheese sticks with the bacon. Like you save yourself some calories and you come back for next week.
Yeah, exactly.
So the bet of the week this week for Keegan Slice the Pie, you're going Indiana, Illinois. I love it. So what are our options? We have Indiana covering the 4.5, Illinois covering the 4.5, or.
Well, I thought the game of the week was South Florida and Miami.
Oh,
am I incorrect on that? Isn't that the premier matchup this weekend?
Yeah, that's what game day says. That's what game day thinks.
We're just going to keep it simple, and we're going IU spread or Illinois spread. We're going to have two options this week.
I love it. All right.
And I got a feeling I know, based upon my followers on X and the viewers of this podcast, which way that's probably going to go. So
I think so. So hopefully we're all going to be sad. If Keegan doesn't get money next week, we'll all be sad.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Okay.
So I guess the ultimate, the worst play for Keegan is, I mean, like IU wins, so we're all super stoked, but they win by 2 and just screw up his pizza money.
Yes, that's one way to go with it. But here's what I'm looking at.
Yep.
This is IU. IU has a big chance here to A, make a statement, or B, really fuck things up. All right, because a loss in this game really kind of throws a whole wrench into the season. And it would be worrisome, with other games down the road too, like games we thought might have been in hand suddenly no longer look like that. And so the sure losses become even sure losses. And so this is a huge game for the Hoosiers. I'm going to gamble like it's a huge game for the Hoosiers. I'm going to make it a huge game for me. So I'm going to have, a few different bets on it. And so that's why we're doubling up the hot streak. We're doubling up the pizza bet of the week. We're all in here too, because it's freaking time. This is what we do. We're going to go all in, I think, on this one. Not all in, but you know what I'm saying? Right. We're going big on this one. You ever get that where you're like, oh, I tossed this money line favorite in like 4 different parlays, and they end up getting upset, and you're like, your whole day's freaking ruined because of, the one team you were sure was going to win. This isn't that kind of a sure bet. This is still a pretty, it's going to be a good game. I think whoever's going to the game is going to have a blast. That I know the atmosphere last year was just amazing for the Purdue game at night. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when the weather's good and it's not snowing. And it's, it's going to be unbelievable. And wear red. Don't be that person that doesn't wear red.
No, I'm wearing red, and I love the idea of what you're saying. It's a big game for them. Make it a big game for us. So I like that. All right. Well, James, hey, as always, it's great. And I look forward to talking to you next week after a Hoosier win. And we're ranked probably below where we should, but we're ranked above where we are now.
We'll be ranked either way.
I disagree with you there. I think we lose, we're out.
Yeah, if it's close and we lose, no.
I disagree. I think if we lose, we're out either way.
The shame of losing to a top 10 team at home.
It's just, dude, they're looking to get a reason to get Indiana out. They'll keep Notre Dame in before they get it. I think so. So that's my thought. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank everybody for listening. James, as always, thank you. I'll see you next week. And for James, this is Scott for Crimson Cash signing off.
Post time.
Thank you for listening to Crimson Cash, a proud podcast of the Back Home Network.
Queen. Yes, sir. You gotta love this town.